kick.
We're inside the 65 Toss Power Trap Studios for our next Coach's Corner. It's strength and conditioning coach Mike Clark. Mike, thanks for joining us today. And you know, sometimes people know at a young age what they want to be, and you're certainly one of those guys. Give us the story of the day you knew that you wanted to be a strength coach.
I don't know, I wouldn't say it was the day I knew I was going to be a strength coach, but it's the day that I knew something changed in my life and it had to do with strength and conditioning, and I was going to train. We'd gotten back from vacation. We went over to David and Doug C's house. They were the neighborhood kids, and David was the oldest one, the best athlete of all our neighbors. And I was never the first kid picked for all the sports, but I was never the last kid picked. But I was kind of in the middle there. So I show up in their garage, and over vacation, they'd gotten a weight set. It was the old plastic cement barbell, and they were doing these exercises. So they go, well, let's see if Mike can do this. I was like, what? And so David, the big stud of the neighborhood, picks up and he starts doing military press. He does about 4 or 5 reps and sets it down. Let's see if you can do that. So I pick it up and I start pressing it. I do about 4, 6, get to 8, get to 10. All of a sudden I'm looking around, and all of a sudden everybody out there, all those guys, their face changed. And the expression on their face was different. And I'd never seen that before. And I knew right then and there, oh, I like this. I like this a lot. So I told my father about it. A couple days later, we went down to downtown Kansas City to a pawn shop. He bought a weight set, and they were actually the metal ones. I still have them. And I knew from that day forward that was going to be a part of my life from the start.
Your field of study, I guess we should say, is always progressing. You know, I'll sit up late at night and I see an infomercial for P90X, and there's some new Pilates exercise or an ab roller, and then that's just the commercial stuff. But even with you guys in the Chiefs, in the 6 years I've been here, seeing the different equipment that's used and the way that stuff progresses, how do you stay on top of that things, and how is your philosophy change along with the equipment and kind of the new fads that come and go, or are you sticking with the program that you know?
Well, from the time I started to the time now, the programs have changed, but there are certain principles that have remained about the same. That hasn't changed much, but the way you apply it has. I've always been a believer in free weights. I've always been a believer that you should do most of your work standing up because you play on your feet. But we went through a period of time where we did split programs, where we did upper body, lower body, pressing movements, pulling movements. You separated things out like that, and you did it segmented. Well, I haven't done that for probably 20 years. Now, as an athlete, you look at the way athletes, world-class athletes train. They train total body every day they train, whether it's 3 days a week, 4 days a week, or 5 days a week. That's how we train now, and I've done that for some time now.
Todd Haley said a lot of impressive things about the strength and conditioning program, and we saw the results on the field. 2010, you know, Coach always says knock on wood. I don't have wood here, but it was a year that wasn't injury-free, but it probably is as good as you can get at the NFL level, I think many would say. How much do you and Todd collaborate on the program itself?
Coach Haley's very involved, and so I talk to Coach Haley continuously about it. We talk about calendars, about training, about rest intervals. So he's very involved, which is really a blessing for me because he's down there all the time. So the players realize how important it is to them. It's so important to Coach Haley that it becomes very important to them as well. And that just makes my job easier. So he's very involved. As far as the injuries, I cringe when people bring that up because I've had seasons where we went almost injury-free, like this last one. I've had other seasons where I thought we had a great off-season. We trained well, but it wasn't like that. We had a lot more injuries. A lot of that has to do with your practice schedule, your schedule of games, your travel, the age of your team, and certainly some of it can just be luck. I hate to leave anything to luck. We try to always eliminate that from it. But sometimes you just get a bad break, and we were fortunate last year, but our players worked hard enough to earn that good fortune as well.
Now you're a Kansan, you played as a college player at Ottawa, you coached in Topeka, you did some strength coaching at the University of Kansas, and then for almost 3 decades there, you were gone. Texas A&M, at Seattle, at various places, and now you're back. How good is it to be back here after such a long time away?
You know, it's a surreal experience. The first time we took the field last year in that uniform, it was really interesting. I'd given up a long time ago of ever coaching for the Chiefs or playing for the Chiefs. I just hadn't even thought of it. It's been really good. It's hard to put into words exactly how it feels. It's still work, it's still the same job, but yet look at the logo on your chest there. That means something special to me because I grew up with that. I really can't put it into words of how great it is. I can just tell you that it's a special feeling every time we take the field and I look around at that stadium and I see that logo.